Electrophoresis is comparatively a newer technique which can be applied to the migration of individual ions as well as to colloidal aggregates. This technique utilizes the electrical properties of the compounds. The discovery of this technique was done by Koenig, who in 1937 separated proteins in snake venom simply by the use of electrical current and located the components by visual inspection under ultraviolet lamp. Martin Gordon and Constant in 1946 reported the separation of charged substances by electrophoresis on silica gel. And then in 1948, Kramer and Turby used this technique for the analysis of proteins. Now, what is paper electrophoresis? Paper electrophoresis is also known as zone electrophoresis. Electrophoresis or electrochromatography can be defined as the process of separation which involves the migration of charged substances under the influence of electric current. The movement of the charged substances in this technique can be stopped anywhere along their path to the electrodes. Hence, it differs from electrolysis in the manner in which the charged components reach the attracting electrodes. The term electrochromatography is used with reference to the physical transport of charged solutes through paper under the influence of potential gradient. There are two main techniques of paper electrophoresis. The first technique is known as the free electrophoresis, and the second technique, which is a more popular technique, is known as the zone electrophoresis or paper electrophoresis. In free electrophoresis, the separated substances are free to diffuse even after the current is switched off. The distance is noted while the experiment is in progress. Whereas in zone electrophoresis, the test samples are applied as a spot on a large supporting medium like filter paper, starch gel, and agar gel, etc. The position is arrested by drying the paper. Now, advantages of zone electrophoresis over free electrophoresis are that complete separation of different substances into zones of different migration velocities are achieved in zone electrophoresis. Substances of low molecular weight can be studied successfully in zone electrophoresis because there is less interference of boundary anomalies. And a very important advantage is that very small amounts of the test sample are needed. Advantages of paper electrophoresis are also that it results in absolute separation. Separated components can be recovered. The process is more sensitive, and it is possible to perform continuous electrophoresis. However, there are certain limitations also involving paper electrophoresis. The main limitation is that the use of paper electrophoresis is limited only to electrovalent compounds. Covalent compounds cannot be analyzed by paper electrophoresis. When electrovalent compounds are dissolved in water, they dissociate into positive and negative ions. Because of the polarity so developed, the ions migrate to the opposite electrodes. The technique of paper electrophoresis involves paper, electrolytes, electrodes, and currents. Various types of filter papers are used for paper electrophoresis. All these papers differ in thickness, optical homogeneity, and the presence of impurities or foreign materials. Generally, Whatman filter paper is used for paper electrophoresis. The paper is washed with distilled water or 0.1 molar HCl or 0.01 molar EDTA solution to remove the impurities. The commonly used electrolytes are buffer solutions which contain weakly dissociated acids and bases. The choice of buffer solutions depends on the material to be separated. Buffers having low ionic strength are generally used. Strong electrolytes are never used owing to high conductivity. Borate buffers are used with uncharged molecules. They form charged complexes with them and can be easily separated. Buffers of low ionic strength are commonly used. Electrodes used are carbon or platinum electrodes. If platinum electrodes are to be used, care must be taken to prevent polarization by using electrodes of sufficient area. Generally, carbon electrodes connected with a platinum wire to the knobs of current supply are employed. Current employed is a direct current of value of 100 to 300 volt and is supplied by a rectifier.